Hi, good afternoon, team.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Good
afternoon, sir.
afternoon. Yeah. Shall we start now? All of you are comfortable. Yes, team.
Yes, sir. We can.
Okay. Right. Let me just share the screen and then we can start with testing. Okay. Now, yesterday you did that is the group of five peoples or 6 members. Fine, that would be fine, right? And Monday we can take this the SQL presentation, right? Everybody should be prepared and be ready with your presentation. Okay, be ready with your presentation. Fine. So today we are going to discuss about the introduction or the fundamentals of the testing concepts, right? So you are getting into the testing world. So that's why I just want to give you a brief idea about the testing. Okay. So what is testing is all about? Okay, what are the different principles of testing, right? Why testing is required? Then what is quality? Then the quality assurance and the quality control. Then what is verification? What is validation? Right? So these are the basic things are there that I want to give you a brief intro about this, the concepts, right? So quickly, let me just share the screen and then let's start with in the testing. So first of all, to all of you guys, that you are most welcome. You are welcome to the QA world. Okay, and very important thing. Am I audible, team?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. Remember this thing, this word, right? I can do it. Okay. Please remember this word. You just write it down in your dictionary that I can do it, or fix it in your memory that I can do it. Finish. Okay. So let's see what is the QA world is all about, right? You are going to start your career into this the testing world. So we want to understand what exactly the testing is all about, and right? And these are the day-wise notes are there, team. So definitely I will share these notes with you. So day to day, I will share the notes. So don't worry about it. And wherever I'm going to tell you that you should note it down, then and then only you people have to note it down. Otherwise, it's not required to note anything. Okay, try to understand these concepts. Okay, now the first question before going to start into the testing, we should know what does the software testing is all about, right? Now there are two terms, team, when we talk about software testing. So there are two terms. One is the software, and the another one is testing. And I'm going to tell you it's totally a practical approach rather than the theoretical. I don't know theoretically how many authors are there and how many authors has defined the testing definition. Okay, right. So many authors are there and they have their own the view or the perspective that they have defined their the software testing definitions. But let's try to understand what is software and what is testing, right? So the software is nothing but it is a collection of programs, that the instructions or the steps, right? So that is all about the software. Okay, when we try to define a software, so software is nothing but it is a set of instructions, right? It is a set of commands, right? Or we can call this as a collection of programs. Say, for example, MS Office. You people call this as a MS Office, right? Correct. So this MS Office is an entire package, or it is, the I can call this as a software. And this software contains the different modules team, like say MS Word is there, then MS Excel is there, right? Access is there, Outlook. So there are so many things are there that is the bunch in together, and then it becomes the software. So that is what it is, a collection of the programs or the steps or the instructions. We can call this as a software. Now, what is software testing? So let's understand the meaning of testing, right? Meaning of testing, not a definition of testing. I'm trying to understand that is it. Meaning of testing. So what is this testing is all about? Testing is nothing but to check, to verify, to validate. Okay, very simple. You want to check, you want to test something. Okay, you want to test food. So what is mean by you want to test food, or you want to test sambar, you want to test, the idli sambar, whatever it is, right? So you want to verify, you want to check, you want to, the just validate that the idli vada or idli sambar, whatever it is, it's the meet your requirement, right? And you are nothing but you are a user, okay, right? You are nothing but you are a user and you have some expectations, right? So when we talk about this, the vada pav, everybody heard about this vada pav, right? From Mumbai, correct? Yes or no? Yes,
Yes,
team.
sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, yes. So you know vada pav, right? So when we talk about the vada pav, also nothing, right? So we have some picture, or we can say that we have some expectation from this vada pav, right? So there should be a potatoes, the sabji, or we can say that the potatoes, this with the spicy something and it's crispy coating. Okay, right. So that is what you can make it your picture very clear, and you are nothing but you are user. Remember that you are user, and you have some expectation. And if it meets, then you say, "Wow, it's tasty." Correct. So when we talk about software testing, team, okay, see, it is totally a practical definition and very easy to understand. That is a verification plus validation, right? There are two terms when we talk about the software testing definition. So basically, if you ask me in technical terms, like, okay, what is software testing? So the software testing is nothing but to test that application as per user's requirement, or to validate that application is working as per the user's requirement. And that is what all about software testing. Okay, so you are going to validate it. You are going to check whether that the particular software meets your user requirement, right? It meets user requirement. That is what you are going to validate it. Okay, and that is what it is called as a in the software testing. So now again, when we talk about the software testing equals to verification plus validation, now the question is, what is verification and what is validation? Next question. Correct. So what is verification and what is validation? Now the verification, you want to verify, you want to cross check. What do you want to verify? Verify is nothing but to check. To check what? It means user requirement. Correct. Now the validation is nothing but that is called as an execution. Okay, and we are going to see in details what is verification and validation in details. So in coming sessions, upcoming sessions, we are going to learn about this, what is verification and what is validation, right? So just understand this, what is software testing and how could you define software testing is all about. Now the next thing, now why this is required, right? Why this is so important, that the software testing. So you people have, the say, is joined as a trainee or as a software test engineers, right? You are a fresher, right? So why these companies are recruiting this QA people basically? Why this particular? I can say that the responsibility has come or the role has come. That is a QA role. Correct. Why company has started like this? Now here we have some scenarios. Okay, we have some scenarios, or we can call this as a stories, right? And that's why the software testing it's become a very important thing. There is a something called as a Intel. Can you please be muted? Yes. So there are different scenarios out there. There are so many scenarios, and out of which I'm just trying to find out few of them. And you people can see the recent, the the bugs which is found in the 2020 series, okay, 2020, 21, 22. You can just check it out in the Google and just find out what are the latest bugs is found in the market, right? Just check it out, right? So I am trying to tell you this different stories, so you will people will believe that yes, testing is necessary, testing is must, right? So there is a first story which is I am trying to tell you about Intel Pentium bug team. Okay, if you go to this Intel Pentium bug, if you search this Intel Pentium bug in Google, right, you people will find out what is that, some details about this Intel Pentium bug basically. Now I am trying to tell you the story, right? So Intel, so Intel, it's a big brand basically, right? It's a big company, right? So Intel launched the one chip, okay, right? They designed the chips basically. So Intel, in the they launched one chip, and the developers or the members or who are the senior person in the Intel, they were new about that the particular bug, and still they released this the particular chip into the market. They were aware about it. There is a fault in the chip, and still they released that product into the market. Okay, right? And they thought that yes, who is going to do the um, complex calculation? There was a fault team. There was a fault in the chip. Okay, and there was some calculation was there, right? That is a floating value calculation, and that the particular calculation was not the normally done by the normal people. I am saying, or the common people, right? We like you and me, we are not going to do so much of complex calculation on the system or the computer. But yes, there are some the researcher or R&D team, right? Research and development team, or I can say that the mm, scientist, they do that kind of calculation, right? They do that kind of calculations, and they did it. So one of them, he was trying to do some calculation and he was not getting exact result what he was expecting. Okay, he was not getting that result. He tried a lot. Then he asked his friend, that yes, Mr. John, I am not getting the correct result. Can you please check this on your system whether we are getting a correct result or not? So he asked his friend that please try to cross check it. So the Mr. John also checked that whether he is also getting a correct result or not. Even he was also not getting the correct result. He said that, hey, no, I'm also not getting the correct result, right? So they both they both were the scientist, and definitely they found this bug, and they said that there is a problem with the chip. Okay, and they noted to the Intel that yes, there is a problem with your chip. Intel was trying to deny that thing first. No, no, it's not like that. This is not our fault and blah blah things, etc. But scientist is scientist. They proved it, and it was a paper release that Intel, the release faulty chip into the market. Okay, and that was the story. Now after this, once it was released into the in the paper release and in the media release, whatever it is, right? That Intel was supposed to change that all faulty chips. Okay, and that was a very loss to Intel, right? Because of this small mistake, and that's why testing is required. Testing is must be. This is a one story. It's interesting, right, team? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is one story. Now the next is Lion King game series. Now everybody knows Lion King, right? It's a Disney's Lion King. Everybody knows, right? That yes or no? All of you know about this Disney's Lion King?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So Disney decided that they are going to launch a game series, that is Lion King game series, and it was a first venture of Disney's. And Disney's again a brand name. You know what is Disney is all about. So, and they decided that they should release this, the Lion King game CD into the market in the 25th of December, right? Christmas Day. They decided on that day they should, release this game CD. Okay, right? And everybody was waiting for this, the particular venture, right? Yes, it's a Disney's first venture, and we are getting, that Lion King game CD. Our kids will, become very happy, very excited to, see the CD basically, and they want to play that game. Okay, everybody was excited, and they release this. The Disney releases their, the product into the market on 25th of December itself, right? And it was a huge sale, team. It was unexpected sale the day one itself. Okay, everybody was waiting for this in the particular venture, and now, it's so amazing kind of a sale was done basically. Now the next is what happened. The next day, the next day, Disney got a call from the parents. The just phone was ringing, right? So what was happening now? The parents were telling that this CD is not working on our system. That the CD, that the game CD is not working. Then how come? Right? Some of the parents they say that it is working, and some of them they are telling that it's not working. Right? Now, what is the issue basically? Right? Now, whatever that the game CD was developed on a specific system or the configuration. Okay, say for example, that Lion King game CD was developed on, say for example, I'm telling you that it was developed on Core i3, okay, and specific configuration. I'm telling you that, for example, I'm telling you that, for example, it's a Core i3 processor, and this, the blah blah things are there, configuration like, the 8 GB RAM and all, right? Operating systems is Windows 7 or something, right? And they developed that particular, the CD, and they didn't check on the different, the configurations of the systems, right? So they didn't check it, they didn't verify that, okay, and they release it into the market as it is, and that's why. So say, those who are having that Core i3s, that the same configuration was there, right? It was working on their system, that the CD was working on their system, but they don't have, who was not having that the particular configuration systems, they won't be able to run that CD, and it was not working on that their system basically, right? And they called them in the Disney, and they were telling that it's not working. Yeah, it was like that. So that is what the in the this story is all about. Now that the Disney was supposed to change, okay, that the Disney was supposed to, replace that game CD with the new game CD basically, and again it was a huge loss of, the Disney's basically. Okay, so this is what in the second story, and that's why testing is important. Testing is very very important. Now the next story, that is a Therac machine. You know, the Therac machine, it's a scanner kind of thing, right? The scanner is nothing but the body scanner. It will check the tissues. Okay, that is a cancer's patients. We can check, right? It was the first, I think, machine, right? Let me just go through that Therac machine. Okay, 1 minute. Let me check it out. I want to show you that Therac machine. Okay. Okay, 1 minute. Just give me a moment. I'm going to show you that story. Yes, Therac 25. Now you can see this. Right. So the Therac 25 was a radiation therapy machine and produced by Atomic Energy of Canada Limited. Right. So Therac 25, actually basically this, the machine, it, that destroys the tumors with minimal impact on the surrounding healthy tissues, right? And there was in the 25, Therac 25 was the first linear accelerator with the dose, right, which is controlled exclusively by the software, right? Exclusively it controls. See, now each and every body has a different temperature, and according to that temperature only, it should get, the doses, so that the doses controlled, automatically by this, the software. Okay, it was like that. But what happened? It's 1983. Okay, it was released into the market. But what happened? You can see that, due to this, say this 1983, this first Therac was installed, and 1985 to 87, right? 6 massive overdoses, accident due to this software error are reported, and overdoses cause several burns and death. Now you can see that how it is getting impacted. Okay, very much impacted, like death of human being, humans. So it's very critical, basically, right? Okay. Now in 1987, again, see that it's recalled for extensive design changes, including hardware to safeguard against software errors in the DOS. Now, if you check it out, team, you know, they couldn't able to find out what is the problem over there, right? They tried it, they, the re-engineered, I can say that they re-engineered of that, the particular machine, everything they did it, they tried it. But again, when they start, the testing, or when they start, the executing that time, also they found the same thing, that the accident was there. Okay, there was happening that the same, the accident was happening still. Now at last they, came to know about that there is a fault with software, not with the hardware. Okay, right. And that's why testing is compulsory. Testing is must. Clear, team? Everybody has understood why software testing is required?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. Very good. So this is what I want to tell you, the stories. There are so many stories are here, there, team. You can just try to find out in the Google, and then you will get it, those the latest stories as well. So anyways, we are not wasting our time into the stories. You people know that this is very important, that the software testing is very much important in the industry right now. Okay, now the next we are going to move to the testing principles, right? So what I'm trying to tell you, team, there is a certifications. There are different types of certifications out there, right? That is a ISTQB. ISTQB means it's a Indian, no, it's an international software testing qualification board, team. Okay, these certifications are very important, team. Okay, if you want to do that personally, if you want to enhance your skill, upskills, and you want to do some international certifications, I suggest it's manual testing, only manual testing. It's a theoretical part, no practical, and all are MCQs. Okay. So this ISTQB exam and FL is the foundation level certificate. Okay, there are different levels are there, agile, advanced level, then the automation level. So many levels has come. If you go into the Google and type ISTQB, then definitely you will get it in the different levels of in the certifications. Now, ISTQB, it's an international software qualification board, which is organized by ITB, Indian Testing Board, then the GASQ, and these are the different vendors. And those who conduct, I say, they conduct, this ISTQB exam, and which is globally recognized. This is globally recognized. And you do this kind of certification. Don't do any kind of, the local, what is that? Local classes certification or something like that. But yes, you can do this, the international certification. Okay, that is another part. So it's up to you, and its cost is also very less. The fees of this ISTQB exam fees are around 4.5 or $6, right? 6K. That is a 6,000 to 5,000, 5,000 to 6,000. It's like that only, right? In that range only. It may vary on that, the dollar basically. So it's $100 or something like that, I think. So just check it out now. So it's around approximately, I'm telling you, it's 5.5 or 5K. Okay. So you can just, try to get into this ISTQB exam. I, recommended you that you people have to do this ISTQB exam. It's, I think 70% is the passing criteria. Okay. And it's all our multiple choice questions. No negative marking, nothing is there. Okay. So this is what, this is the one of this in the syllabus that ISTQB, that is a testing principles. Now let's try to understand this testing principles. There are 7 principles are the thing. Okay, so we are trying to understand the 7 principles. Now the first principle. Okay, so the first principle, try to understand. Testing shows presence of defect. Okay, testing shows presence of defects. So basically, try to understand the goal of testing. Why you are doing testing, right? What is the main purpose? What is your goal? Why you should do this testing activity? Tell me, team. Why you want to do the testing? What is your goal? What is your objective to do this testing activity? Yes, team.
Finding errors.
Finding errors. Yes. Finding more bugs, right? So that is what we are trying to do. This is right. So very important that ultimately, anyhow, whatever we are doing in the software testing, right? So this when you do this software testing team, right? Our goal is very important. It's straightforward that we should find out the defects, or we should find out the more, the errors. Basically, that is our main objective and the goal. Okay. Now, what we are trying to understand is, we are trying to understand that, that is a testing shows that is a presence of in the defect. What is this presence of defects? Means, suppose, for example, if I do the testing, right, software testing, um, if I do the software testing, what will happen in the application, right? So the probability of getting an error, right? It will may, or maybe it gets reduced, right? So the probability of in the we are going to find out that discover that in the errors basically, right? And when we do this testing activity, so obviously, right, it reduces the probability of undiscovered defects remaining in the software, right? But even if no defects are found, it is not a proof of correctness, right? What I'm trying to tell, see, you know it's a software testing which is, it reduces the probability of undiscovered defects team, right? And which is remaining in the software. But even if no defects are found, suppose for example you have already tested and you didn't find any, the bug or a defect, whether are you going to say that the particular software is error free? No, it is not a proof of the correctness, right? And if you work extra hard and talking all about the precautions, right, and make your software product 99% bug free, no. See, even if you make this the 99% bug free means 1% is remaining, right? So there might be a chances that we might get the error. So that is an absence of error, which states that that is called as an absence of error. Okay, so we will discuss this also, right? So let's absence of error falsy, it's there. So that is what the testing shows the presence of defect. Now the exhaustive testing is not possible. Exhaustive, what is mean by the exhaustive? Say somebody has given you some task, your mom has give you some task. Hey, the Vinit, you should do this. Then the Vinit sir has given some task. Vinit friend has given some task to Vinit. Vinit, you have to do this, please. Okay. Can you do one favor for me? And somebody asks you some things for the Vinit. Then Vinit will say, Mom, oh, please, I will do it later. Now what happens? So Vinit is reacting, right? Why he is reacting? Because he is getting so much of things right at the same time, right? Somebody is telling do this, somebody is telling do that, okay, etc., etc., etc. So it's bombarding to him, and then finally he's saying that, oh no, wait, I will do it. Okay, so that is what the exhaustive testing is not possible. Say for example, now if I give you a simple application like login window, then you people can enter username and the password. There are two fields, right? When we go with the login window, it's a simple application, right, team? And when we go with that, so definitely you are going to enter the username and the password and you are going to test that application. But if I ask you, there is a form or the registration form which contains say so many fields. I can see that the 20 fields, 25 fields, more than 25 fields, and you want to test that application, you are going to enter it, blah blah things, the permutation combinations, you are going to check each and every individual field, you are going to validate it, right? So then you become exhausted. You are going to say, oh no, I'm not going to do it. Leave it that way. Okay. So exhaustive testing is not possible. Okay. Exhaustive testing is not possible. Okay. Now, uh, what is that? There is a third one which is called as a early testing, VNV. I just mentioned into bracket VNV. That is verification and the validation, VNV model thing. Okay, VNV model. Now, what is this? The early testing means. If you ask me the traditional approach team, right, before decade, right, we were supposed to test this application once that the particular build gets ready, or that the software gets ready. I can say that once this software is ready, team, right, then and then only the testers comes into the picture and they start testing activity. I repeat, try to understand. Once that the software is ready, I'm talking about the traditional approach team, right? Once that the build gets ready, then the testers comes into the picture and they start testing activity. That was traditional approach. Now, okay, that is the current situation. Now the developers and the testers, they sit together or they do the parallel the activity. The developers are doing development and the testers are doing testing activity parallelly together. Okay, this is what the latest train does, and that's why the VNV models comes into the picture. So that is what early testing. And definitely when you start the testing activity soon, and if you find out some bug, and the cost to fix that bug is very less. Okay, if you want to fix that bug, So when you are putting efforts, right? The developers are obviously putting efforts, and that the efforts is getting calculated. Okay, so that the cost of that fixing bug is very less if you find out, the at the beginning stage, and that's why the early testing. We should start testing activity as soon as possible or at the earlier stage. That's it. Now the fourth one is pesticide paradox, right? So that is what the pesticide and the paradox. Okay, you know the terms. You know what is meant by the pesticide, pest control, correct, and then the paradox. Now, generally, what happens? See, for example, you have 100 test cases, right? You have 100 test cases and you are executing those cases again and again. Okay, and you are not able to find out more bugs. Getting my point? What I'm trying to tell. See, now you executed 100 test cases last month, and the same 100 test cases you are executing on the next build or the second build, right? The same test cases you are using and you are trying to find out more bugs, but you are not able to find out the more bugs. You are using the same test cases again and again, right? You are not modifying, you are not updating that test cases, right? And this is what it is called as the pesticide paradox. You should update that 100 test cases to find out the more defects or to find out the more bugs. Okay, and that is what it is called as a pesticide paradox team. Remember. So hope that everyone is clear about this in the testing principle. We did 4 principle. Any questions? Any doubt?
So will you repeat the second one, exhaustive test?
Exhaustive. Okay. Exhaustive means, say, if I give you 10 application to test it at the same time, are you able to do it?
No, sir.
Finish. And that is what it is called as an exhaustive testing is not possible. If I give you, the say, for example, SAP application, don't call as a SAP, okay? If I give you SAP application, that is the ERP package, and basically this SAP package, that contains a lot of fields, individual fields, like n number of things are there. I'm talking about, say, hundreds of fields. Are you going to check each and every field, with, say, what it is called as boundary value analysis? You are applying in the equivalence partitioning or the permutation combinations. Say, for example, now there is a name and that the name contains 4 to 8 alpha characters. Okay, I'm just giving you a simple example. We are going to do this later on. Don't worry about it, but I'm just giving you an example. So you are going to write it down for this in the first name field or the even the that the particular name field in the 6 to 7 test cases for one field team. And now if you are getting hundreds of fields, then you are going to write it down the 700 test cases? No. So that is what, exhaustive testing is not possible. Is that clear?
Yeah, sir.
Perfectly right. Okay. Now the fifth one. The fifth one is testing is context dependent. Now, what is meant by the context dependent? That is a view of testing, right? The approach. Now, when we have already discussed this story stream, right? Now, you can tell me what was the impact of this. Say, for example, if that the particular error was there, right? Whether it was harmful to you, human being, or whether it was, the disturb to the financial, any circumstances, or what do you think when it was found that bug? Did it get impacted on the any other somebody? What was the impact? It was there, but it was not so, the impacted on financial crisis or anything, right? You can just tell me that. Yes, that there was a problem, but it was rare, right? So if you go with the Lion King game series, okay, now you can see there is a different context. the approach of testing for this Intel Pentium bug is different, then for the game CD is different, and for the Therac 25 machine, that is a totally different. Okay, say for example, now you are going to test the web-based application. Approach is different. If you go with the mobile-based application testing, your approach is different. You are going to test the SAP application, your approach is totally different. So that is what it is called as a testing is context dependent. Okay, this is what it is called as a context dependent. So your approach is getting changed and based on that application only, right? It's not saying, so you apply a web-based application testing, you are doing a web-based application testing and you got it some other application, right? So say for example, it's an embedded system or something has come and you are going to test that application. Whether are you going to follow the same thing that you followed for the the web-based application? No, you are not going to follow the same approach that you did it for the web-based application testing. No team, you are not going to do that. You are going to test it a different approach for this embedded system. Correct. Let's take an the another example of the aerospace. Correct, aerospace application or a software. So how thoroughly we have to test that application, you can just imagine. I'm just trying to tell you that. Just think about it, and you can tell me that. So the context is totally getting changed. In the security application, say banking application is there. So your context is getting changed. If this is the application, sorry, that is a banking application, then you are going to focus on this, the threat. It should not be getting hacked. So you are going to test in that perspective. That is your context is on that. In this, you are going to focus on the security testing. Okay, and this is what the fifth principle is. Then the sixth is there, right? That is an absence of error falsy and the defect clustering. Everybody know what is mean by the cluster, right? Anybody can tell me what is mean by the cluster?
Combination of similar items.
Okay, right. So it is a small number of the modules, right? Say for example, generally what we do, okay, or what we people did it. If you talk about the decades before, when we started the testing activity or the testing in the um, career as a as a test career, test engineer career, right? We started like that and we tested that application like we ignored a small things. You won't believe it. We assume that okay, this will get passed. Why should we test it? Okay, right. So the small number of the modules contain most of the that the the defect detected, right? Most of this, and that is what it is called as a defect clustering. Basically, we try to ignore that small chunks, okay, or the modules. I can say that, and but that the small modules will create a big problem. In short, okay, and this is the application of the Pareto principle or to the software testing. So for example, that is, I can say that this, approximately 80% of the problems are found in 20% of the modules. I repeat, okay, 80% of the problems are found in 20% of the modules. Remember, so that's why the small modules, you should not ignore it, you should test it. Otherwise, you feel that, oh, this is just a 20% of the model. But yes, this 20% of the model might create the 80% of the problem. Okay, and that is what it is called as a defect clustering. Now, very important. That is absence of error falsy. That you people have to try it out as an assignment. You just search it, Google it out, find out, understand that what is this the absence of error falsy. We have already discussed indirectly, but you people have to just try it out, find out, and read it, and try to understand that what is mean by the absence of error falsy. Everybody has cleared this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now the next is that is we are trying to understand what is SDLC. Okay, that is a software development life cycle team. Now there are different modules out there when we talk about SDLC, right? So there are different models out there. Anybody can tell me what are the different models are there?
Like planning, analysis, design,
No,
development.
I'm asking about different models, different types of SDLC models. You remember that?
Waterfall model,
Waterfall agile.
Correct. Waterfall model. Then
Spiral
spiral
model.
model,
spiral model. Exactly. Correct. Then you are right.
prototype model, agile.
Prototype model, agile model. Very good. Perfectly right. Sounds good. Then
Iterative model.
iterative model, RAD model, right? VNV model,
V model.
V model. Yes. Previously it was the VNV model. Now it's V model. Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good team. Right. Perfectly right. Sounds good. Now let's try to understand this waterfall model. Okay. We are trying to understand this in the waterfall model. Now, what is this waterfall model is all about? Okay. So it is also called as linear sequential model team, right? This waterfall model is also called as a linear sequential model. Okay, it has a 6 phases. How many phases are there, team? 6 phases. Okay, now which are they? And it looks like a waterfall, and the flow it's look like this. You know the waterfall. Okay, up to down. You can see that up to down, right? Correct. Okay. Now the first is nothing but it's what is this? First phase, that is a requirement. That is a user's requirement team. Okay. First is nothing but that is a user's requirement. Second is after this, we should follow with analysis. Once the requirement gets over, that is a user requirement, we understood that. Then the next is we have to follow with in the analysis part. Okay. Now let's take an example, team. Like you people are developers, right? You are a developers, right? And I am a client or I am a customer, and I want to develop one website for my in the business. Okay, right. I want to develop one website, e-commerce website for my the business. And I ask you, team, hey team, or your developers, can you please develop this website for me? Yes, correct. So as a developer, you people are going to develop this website, right? So definitely you will get this some requirement. You will ask me, sir, can you please provide us your requirement? What exactly you are looking for? So definitely, I will give you, I am non-technical person. I don't know anything about the requirement itself. But yes, I will try and then I will give those whatever I want to do. So I'm expecting this is blah blah things. So I will give you a raw material. See, what I want to try to tell you is I will give you a raw material. And once you get this raw material, team, correct, you want to make this as a finalize in the requirement. Correct. You want to filter out those requirements. Okay, I gave to you people everything. Okay, blah 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 things you noted down. This is they are looking for this blah blah things. Now you are going to analyze it. You are going to filter out which is important, right? Which is the less important, whatever it is. You are going to filter out. You are going to analyze it. Once the analysis part is done, team, then you are going to start with the designing phase. So designing in terms of form design or UI design, okay, or a database design, then data flow diagram, entity relationship diagram, right? ERD diagram, everything, UML, Unified Modeling Language, okay, UML. So you people will show me that, okay, this is what the form looks like, right? This is what the UI look like, this. So that is what it is called as a design phase. You are going to design the master database. Okay, so many things are there. So you are going to do that thing in the design phase. Once this design phase gets over, team, then you are going to move to the next phase. That is the next level. That is coding. Whether you want to do perform this coding using any language, I can say that using any language, .NET, PHP, Python, whatever Java you want to use, that is what you know. So the coding part gets over, then we should start with the implementation and the testing team. Very important. Okay, implement. So you should integrate all these small chunks unit together, make this and make it, whether it is the interacting with each other, you have to test. And so implementation and testing gets done, then we have to move to the next phase. It's maintenance phase. If you are getting any kind of the changes, right, or the updates, then you should do it. And that's is called as a maintenance. Now, if you check it out, the flow is like a waterfall. It looks like a waterfall, right? And that's why it is called as a waterfall model, or it is also called as a linear sequential model. Okay, it is also called as a linear sequential model. Everyone is clear? Yes, team?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's try to understand second model, that is a Big Bang model. So what is mean by the Big Bang? Bang. Yes, team. What is a Big Bang? Meaning of Big Bang. Bang. Dictionary meaning of bang, team.
Bang means uh, to to hit on something very hard.
Hard. Okay. Explosion.
Yes.
Collision.
Collision. Yeah.
Blast.
Perfectly right. Yeah. So that is what it is called as a Big Bang, right, team? So let's take an example. Okay. There is we have to combine all these different modules together. Now, as I said that when we talk about this software is nothing but it is a combination of different modules, right, team? So definitely. So different modules are there. And we are not going to check a individual module team. In this Big Bang approach, we are not going to check or test it in the single modules. What I will do is I will combine all these modules together, okay, and execute it whether the result is pass or a fail thing. Okay, see what I will do is, I'm not going to check in the single module. I'm going to combine this all modules together and then execute it and then check, right, whether the result is pass or a fail thing. Okay, then V model. Okay, V model is nothing but that is a verification and a validation model. Okay, team, verification and validation model. Let's try to understand this V model. Okay, let's try to understand this V model. Okay, let's go to the Google and then type V model. So let's see. Okay, I want to just check it out this picture. Okay, I just want to get into the pictorial representation, like how exactly it looks like. So if you check, one side is a development which is called as a SDLC, and the other one is called as STLCT. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go with the V model. Okay, in software testing. And I want to go with the images actually. I just want to get into the images. Okay, I think this flow is also good. This one is also good. Okay, anything we can go with that. No problem. Now see, this is a verification and this is what the validation part. So the one side is called as a verification. The other side is called as a validation. Okay. Now this V, how many phases are there? Now, what are the steps are there? So the first is requirement gathering. We should prepare a system test plan team. Sorry, that is a requirement, right? UAT. So that is a user acceptance test plan that we need to prepare it and perform UAT. Okay. So these two activities, that is a SDLC and STLC, they are going in the parallelly team. Just see that. Okay. And this is what it is called as a V model. Okay. So this is a requirement gathering, right? Then the system analysis, software design, module design, then coding, then unit testing, integration testing. Integration gets over, then we have to perform system, then acceptance testing. For each and every level, we need to prepare a test plan. So for this unit, I have to be prepared a unit test plan. When I go with the integration test plan, right, means integration level, I should prepare an integration test plan. Okay, so we should design it or plan it for each and every level team. Now you can see that once you get into the requirement, you should perform the acceptance testing. When you get into the system, the requirement specification, then you have to go with the system integration testing. System integration testing. There is a something called as the high level testing and the low level design, something like that. Okay, so the high level design and the low level design. So for this high level design, we can go with the component testing, or you can call this as an integration testing thing. Okay, you can call this as an integration testing. For the low level design, we can call this as a unit testing. Okay, generally it is done by the developers. And there are something called as the levels of testing: unit, integration, system, UAT, that we will discuss later on. Okay, and this is all about V model. Everybody is clear about that V model team? Everyone is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Now the next is called as a spiral model. Okay, so basically try to understand this spiral model. Okay, so what is this spiral model? Okay, anyone have any idea about the spiral model? Anybody can explain me what is the spiral model is, basically why we have to go with the spiral model, or if whatever you know that you can tell me. Okay, this is all about the spiral model. I know this is this spiral model. So can anybody? Yes, team, what do you think? Not able to explain spiral model, or you don't know?
In this model, development is fast, I think.
Mm, okay, fine.
This model handle the risk.
Okay, this model handles the risk. Then which type of the risk are involved into the project? What are the different types of the risk which is getting involved? What do you think? You are right. Correct. You are right, absolutely correct. But what do you think? Okay, let me just give you a simple scenario. Okay, let's try to understand this scenario. Okay, say for example, now you people are in the Java developers. Try to understand the spiral model, correct? And what are the different types of risk is getting involved into the project, and how to the handle those the risk that we are going to see. So see, you people are a developer, that is a Java developers, right? You are master into the Java programming. Now, business analyst, okay, he got a project and which should be developed in .NET platform. Try to understand the scenario, team. Okay, just see this situation, how exactly it is. Now you are a developer, you are master into the Java. Correct. Everyone is master into the Java programming. Now that the BA guy has come up with the project and it should be developed into the .NET platform. Okay. He came and he asked to the manager that yes, we got a project and we should develop it into the .NET platform. It's very big project. Okay, now the challenge is what? We people or you people are the Java developers, and suddenly if you get it a different platform, that is what you want to develop it. It's a little bit difficult. You don't know about the .NET, right? Now the challenge here is how to do this or execute this in the project, basically, right? Now the manager will come to your in the lead, okay, team lead. He will ask to the team lead that, yes, Mr. Vinay, we got it this project and we should develop this project using a .NET platform. Okay, and I know that you people are into the Java, but yes, we should develop it into the .NET. Then when it is into the question mark, how could we execute this the project? We are all are Java developers, and suddenly we are getting this project and we should develop it into the .NET. We don't know the .NET. So obviously, the Vinny again asked to this manager, yes, boss, we are ready to do this project, but can you please, the provide some kind of a training in the .NET, give us some time, we will get trained, well trained into the .NET platform, and then we will start with this the project. Manager agreed. He said that yes, team, why not? Vinith, you can just go ahead with your team, get them trained, and then start after 1 month. You can start with this .NET project. See what I'm trying to tell you. Just listen carefully. Okay. Now Vinith will come to team members and he will say, the hey team, we are going to develop this software in the .NET platform and we are going to train it into the .NET platform, right? So everybody should be get ready with that in the platform. So we are going to learn this .NET basically, right? And we have in the 1 month time. Within that 1 month of time, we should get trained. Okay, right? So the team said yes, we'll do that. Now so 1 month go, say now they gone through this the training itself for 1 month. After 1 month, again the boss will come to Vinith and he will ask to Vinith, you and your team members are ready for the development. Vinith will again come to this team members and ask, hey, hi team. Now the boss has come and asked me whether we are ready for this development. Then what you people will say? Tell me, team. I'm asking you now.
Most of will say yes.
Okay. Most of it, yeah, you are so positive.
But
Right.
some people are
Huh.
like,
Huh.
we don't have answers on how can we.
Right. Yes, exactly. That's the main point. That is what I want. I'm looking for basically. Right. So definitely. So that the majority of the team members they won't get into that. They are not saying that yes or no. Okay. They say that if we get some kind of the pilot project, right, then we will get it some kind of the hands-on, and then after that we will get much confident to develop this .NET framework. Okay, that the .NET software, right. So again, we need requested to manager that boss. We need 10 days more to get the hands-on, and we are going to do a pilot project. Okay, or in-house project something, so we will get it some kind of the say mm, confidence. I can say that the confidence, right, confidence is very important. Again the boss said, yeah, please go ahead, no problem, but you people should start it this activity as soon as possible, right? Fine. Now after 10 days team, after 10 days, you people started the working on that project. Just check it out, right? And after the 1 week or the 15 days, you completed one module successfully, everyone has done. So for each and every module is assigned a separate developer, and then they are doing very well for each and every module, and they are doing well, and they are developing this in the application. So the first phase is over, the second phase is also over, the second module is over. Okay, then the third module is also over, right? So the 3 months has gone past like this only, right? So everybody is on their own right track. Okay, and they are developing this in the application, going smoothly. And then when they are trying to develop a fourth module, they get stuck. They won't able to find out the solution, how to resolve that problem. Okay, and company is not ready to hire experience resource, right? Everything is gets stopped. The team members are going to tell to Vinith, hey Vinith, we are not able to execute it. We are not able to solve this problem. Again, the Vinith will again come to the manager, and he will tell to manager, boss, we got stuck and we are not able to solve this problem. Okay, so this is what all whole story team, right? Now you people have to tell me. And finally, what happened? Obviously, that the project is not getting executed, and that the company gets locked. Okay, why? Because of this, the different risk was associated, and they didn't find that risk, and that's why they came into this situation. And finally, that the company should get closed. So now, yes, team, you people have to tell me who is the responsible for this entire scenario. Yes, team.
I think Vineet and his team, sir.
Vinith and team is responsible for this scenario. How come?
Because they could not evaluate the problem.
Okay, fine. That is the one answer that I got it. Okay, fine. Maybe you are right. Boss is responsible. Why? Somebody said boss. Why?
For taking the project.
Correct, correct. Little bit closer. But the boss isn't. Okay, fine. Yeah, yeah. Little bit of boss is also responsible. But actually, that the BA guy, exactly, that the business analyst guy is totally responsible for this entire scenario. Okay, say he must be aware about that his team is mastering Java, right? Then why he should take that, the .NET platform project? Why he was not convinced to the client that you are getting a much, much better application using a Java based, and the cost will also go on the lower side. Okay, he didn't try to convince to the client. He said that .NET, client said that .NET, yes, he said that, okay, .NET. But you know that you are very much aware about it. Your team is expertise into the Java, not into the .NET. Why you are taking this? Right? Even if you take this project, right, we should hire some, the good resources, and then we should execute it. Right? So this was the problem thing, right? Now, when we talk about this, the spiral model team, the risk is involved. Even if you take this entire scenario, there was a risk is involved. Then what are the different types of the risk is involved? One is the resources risk, that is the trained resources risk, right? Then the technology risk, okay, Java and .NET, correct. So we should find out this risk, right? And we should find out the solution for this risk. Very important. Okay, you found this risk, good. But you should find out the solution of that risk also, team. Okay, right. So it's not like that. Just you are, the finding the risk. That's it, and then this is the risk. Okay, no. For each and every level team, for each and every level means I can say that for each and every iteration, you should find out the risk. Whether this particular model contains any risk. Yes, it contains some risk. Is there any solution for this? The risk. Yes, there is a solution for this. Then you should go with the next model. Check it out. Whether do you have any, any risk which is associated with that second module. If not, then go to the next level. The third level, if you check it out, is there any risk? Yes. Any solution? Yes. Then move to that. Okay, and this is what it is called as a spiral model thing. Everyone is clear about this spiral model? Yes, team. You can
Yes.
just go through
Yes,
it.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, correct. Just this is for the assignment for you people. That is a RAD model, Rapid Application Development Model. Just check it out. There is a sixth one which is called as a Agile methodology. Okay, so this two, whatever you can see into the square brackets. These are called as an assignments for you people. You are going to do this assignments team. Okay, you are going to work on it. You are going to find out what is agile methodology. You are going to prepare some kind of a presentation that, okay, what is this agile is all about, the short and sober. I'm not looking for the 10 to 15, okay, number of slides. Noting. just 3 to 5 slides within short. You should try to explain this agile methodology, what is agile and all about. Okay, then I will try to add it into it. So I think hope that perfectly okay for you people. Yes, team.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Right. Now see, when we talk about this software testing team, there are basically two parts, right? Which is divided into the two categories, we can call this. One is a manual testing and the another one is called as an automation testing team. Okay, so manual testing. So basically, how could you define this manual testing? The testing is performed manually, which is called as a manual testing, right? And I suggest that you will have to go with this ISTQB foundation level certification, right? So that is what it is, a manual testing. Now the next is called as an automation testing. So how could you define this automation testing, right, team? So testing is performed using an automation tool, and which is called as the automation testing. Are you aware about how many tools are available in the market? That automation tools team. There are so many automation tools are available in the market. More than 500 tools are available in the market team. And out of which, the topmost is like Selenium, UFT, okay, Test Complete, Catalan Studio. These are the topmost the tools. Automation tools are available in the market. That you should do. And we are going to learn this, the Selenium with Java or Selenium using Java. Okay. Introduction to performance testing tool like JMeter and the REST API using Postman. Okay. REST API testing using Postman. So these are the different tools that we are going to learn. Right? Okay. Now let's try to understand, what is, these are the different applications are there. So let's try to understand what are the different kinds of the application, what kind of the testing we can perform, right? So let's try to understand team. Okay, see, there is something called as a desktop based application, right? Notepad itself is a desktop based application. Paintbrush itself is a desktop based application, right? Or which is also called as a standalone application. Okay, desktop based application or standalone application thing. There is something called as a web based application. Web application, web based application. Then API testing. API testing is application programming interface testing, right? Or a web service testing. Okay. Then the database testing, mobile based testing, mobile application, cloud based testing, security testing, performance testing on the different applications, right? And this is what it is called. Even the different types of this, the approach, or we can say that the applications are there and we have to perform this kind of the testing. Now there is another one which is called as a domain based testing, right? Say there is an insurance application, okay, right? So how you are going to test that insurance based application testing? There is a banking application. How you are going to test that banking application testing, right? So the approach is getting different, like context dependent. What is called as a context dependent testing. Okay, so this is all about the software testing. Any questions? Any doubt, team?
No, sir.
It's clear to everyone? I'm asking to
Yes,
everyone.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Good. Sounds good. So now what we'll do is we'll stop today. Okay. Up to this now. You want to prepare it your the for exam. So just prepare it. Just go through these videos again. Try to understand it. What is software testing is all about. So there is a more fun while learning this in the software, the testing team, right? Or in this testing world, basically, we are doing a lot of kind of in the activities over here. Okay, different kinds of activities. You have already made a group of five peoples, and I will give you some kind of activities to you people, and you are going to do this in the activities over here. So this kind of the learn and fun kind of a learning that we are going to do it. Okay. So thank you very much to all of you and all the best. Okay, team. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes. Don't quit it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes. Don't quit it. You should be available. You can do it your work, but you should be available over here. Don't quit it. Don't say, it's log out and all. Don't do that. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes,
Sir.
yes. Yeah. Fine. Fine, team. Okay.